Hi, everyone. I'm Randi Weingarten, president of the AFT, and thanks for tuning in to hear some of what's going on in our union. Last week, I got to lift up so much of what our members do and so much of what we fight for. Let me start with what our members do. 2 school visits, one in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, and one in Newark. I visited Rio Tech, a school that I had visited on its ribbon cutting on its first day. This time, its last day of classes for this year. The first graduating class has a 100% graduation rate, with pathways for students into the skilled trades, college, and careers. And as the new superintendent told me, this partnership, which is the union, the school system, colleges, and employers, they want kids to graduate with 3 things: confidence, a plan, and a credential. In Newark, I wanted to see a school that had integrated AI well, because it has been done so badly in so many places. The teachers at Park Elementary were amazing. So yes, I have real questions about the role of AI in schools, and we'll have a lot more to say about screens and ed tech this Wednesday, May 27th in Washington, D.C., where we'll be putting forth a 10-point plan on teaching and learning in this turbulent time. My shorthand is devices down, eyes up, hands on. And starting on Wednesday, you can find a link to the speech on aft.org. Now, maybe the Trump administration is learning. A Surgeon General's warning, there is no Surgeon General right now, but an active Surgeon General, issued a warning this week that there's too much screen time for children and it's a public health concern. Yes, it is. The question is whether big tech will still rule this administration. But what we're seeing is the administration is still not really listening to what Americans want or need. We heard that big time from retirees last Friday, many of whom made it really clear to me. I met with retirees on Long Island last Friday, that they are really concerned with what is happening with the Supreme Court, unchecked money in politics, the disenfranchisement of Black voters. And the same was true for the thousands who traveled to Selma and Montgomery, Alabama this weekend to declare our commitment to the full promise of voting rights and a multiracial democracy in America. And I'm really glad that several of our AFT local and state leaders joined me in Alabama last weekend as we fought and fight for fair representation and a real voice in our democracy. And back in Washington, we had advocates fighting against family detention centers. Children should be in classrooms, on playgrounds, and at home with their families, not detained by the government. We placed teddy bears representing those children at Union Park to make our point. We don't need more detention beds. 100,000 families have been disrupted by detention. We need investments for children and families across America, because as millions struggle to afford groceries and gas, now we got a new slush fund of $1.8 billion of your tax dollars to the president's allies, people who were convicted of crime because of their rioting the Capitol on January 6. Could you imagine what $1.8 billion could do? It could hire 20,000 teachers. It could fix crumbling bridges. It could provide insulin for millions of seniors. Americans want life to be more affordable, not payoffs for political allies. This is really crazy. The priorities of the American people are clear, but I think it's going to take an election in November to make it clear to the president. Finally, as I do every week, let's check out what's going on throughout the union. In Cleveland, registered nurses at Metro Behavioral Health reached a tentative agreement. They'll ratify the contract, I hope, in early June. And in Tucson, Arizona, teachers and staff at the City Center for Collaborative Learning Charter School voted to join Arizona Acts. Congratulations all around. And finally, I'm so grateful for all of you. You make a difference in people's lives. And I hope you have a really great Memorial Day, and I'll be back next week. Thank you, everyone.